before we get started. How is everyone doing today? Hi, everyone. If you are doing good on a Saturday evening, morning, afternoon, where you're joining from, you can react, you can drop a clapping emoji, you can type yes in the chat box. I need to see some reaction. I need to get some energy. Thank you so much, Blessing. Blessing, thank you so much for reacting. Thank you. Where is everyone, or how is every other person doing in the house? It's very cold this evening. How are we doing? How are we doing? Okay, thank you, Blessing. So Olufemi, Chibuzo, Peace. How you guys doing? You can just drop a comment in the chat so we can get started. If people don't respond, we'll not start the session. Oh. How are we doing? Oh, nice, Kristen. Thank you, Innocence. Thank you, Blessing. Thank you so much, and welcome to today's session. So we are going to get started as soon as possible. Today's session is going to be very exciting. It's going to be very insightful as well. We're going to be learning tricks and tips on how to make use of Excel. So instead of you spending hours and hours and hours on Excel, you'll be learning simple shortcuts, that would basically enable you as an individual to make use of Excel as quickly as possible. You also be learning different aspects on how to automate, different aspects of Excel, how you can, do certain important functions, okay, to be able to navigate Excel properly. And that's what we're going to be focusing on. But before we get started, I would like to know where each person is joining us from. So I'm currently in Lagos, Nigeria, and I would be hosting, and then I also bring up the next facilitator that will be taking up the session. But I also want to know where each and everyone is joining us from. So can you please just drop in the chat if you are in Ghana, if you are in Ibadan, in Nigeria, wherever you are, please can you type it in the chat before we get started? I want to know that each and every one of us is here and ready to go. So please let me know where you're joining us from before we get started. Oh, thank you so much, Blessing. Blessing is joining us from Akure in Nigeria. Thank you so much, Blessing. I'm looking forward to more responses. We have 17 individuals on this call. So, we're still expecting more. Thank you so much, Innocent. Innocent is joining us from Lagos, Nigeria. It's a pleasure to have you on the call. Please, let's have more interaction. Please drop more information on the chat. I'm expecting so much more. 17 individuals. I've mentioned I'm in Lagos. I'm looking forward to where each. Thank you, Christian. Christian is in Lagos. So thank you for joining today's session. I know it's Saturday and everybody has like different activities they are looking to do, but you took time out to join us in today's session. I'm super, super grateful. Without wasting, okay, getting more. Opeyemi is joining us from Osun State, Nigeria. Thank you so much for joining today's session. Fumi is joining us from Ogun State, Lagos. Olufemi is joining us from Lagos, Nigeria. Amazing, fantastic. So thank you so much for joining. Emmanuel is joining us from Kano, Nigeria. Thank you so much for joining today's session. So without wasting any more time, I would go ahead to start presenting the slides so we can start today's session in full. Okay, so like I rightly mentioned at the start of the session, today the topic is avoiding pitfalls in Excel, common mistakes that individuals make, and basically how do you correct them. So I know a lot of people have so many questions when it comes to Excel, or people use Excel, just at the bare minimum. So there are certain things that you can do that makes your process a bit faster. So instead of you spending hours and hours typing the same information over and over again, there are shortcuts to help you do that better. There are better ways to make use of Excel. And that's one of the important facts that you'll be learning in today's session. And you'll be learning so much more, okay? So that's what we'll be discussing about in today's session. So if you have any questions in regards to Excel and the use of Excel, or using Excel for such a long period of time, and you want to know how to make that better, you can start dropping the comments in the chat so that when your facilitator comes up, she would be able to take questions in that regard. So let's move on quickly. So before we get started into the Excel narrative and everything in regards to Excel, I'll quickly like to introduce the organization that is bringing this webinar to you today. We are called Tenalytics Business. So Tenalytics Business is basically like an e-learning platform. So we basically focus on training individuals, staff, organization. Our end goal, end to end, is just to make sure that as an individual, you are as productive as you can be in your particular job role, irrespective of whatever industry that you might come from. It could be fintech, it could be aviation, manufacturing, it doesn't matter. The end goal is to make you more productive and generally just to help your business or help your organization, meet their required business goals. So that's the end goal for us. So we have different type of courses from, really hard skills or tech skills like Excel, Power BI, data engineering, to soft skills like communication, leadership. So whatever aspects you're looking to come from, we just want to help you improve yourself as an individual. So the end goal is to understand your particular training need. Where is there a training gap for you? What skill can you basically look to upskill or get better at that would make you good at your job, in short, to be the best candidate at your job, so you can get that promotion you're looking for. If you're also looking to transition out of your industry, and you also have that opportunity as well, and that's what we look to target as Tenalytics business. So these are some of the individuals, or too many individuals, for Tenalytics and Tenalytics business. We have our founder and co-founder. There's Adeza Suleiman, and we also have Ifemina Ibro. So these are individuals that have made waves in their industry and then gone ahead to understand the fundamental problem of training, just so that they can replicate and give people more access to learning and getting better at what they do. So without further ado, you have Adeza Suleiman. Adeza is a data analytics expert. He's also a data science consultant in the UK and US. He has worked in the energy sector, specifically Sahara Group, as a data analyst. He has also worked with FITC as a data analytics consultant. He has over a years of experience in data analytics in the energy sector, in the edtech space, in professional services. And he has helped over 8,500 people or participants, learn and upskill in their different tech education. So we also have as our co-founder, Ifemina Ibro. He's the co-founder at Tenalytics Business. He is a data science contractor. He's also a global business system analyst for a company in Ireland. He has also worked as a data engineering professional, a data scientist professional, and a data analytics professional. So these are individuals that the very core and foundation of their business is in regards data. So, we basically know that this company or this organization is built with individuals that have a clear understanding of how to make use of data, how to analyze data, how to make data better, and how to visualize data in the way that matters. So over the past 5 years, we've helped individuals, specifically 60,000 plus individuals and corporates across, Africa, Europe, America, Asia, name it, we are there. So we majorly play around spaces like data analytics, data science, business analysis, financial analytics, HR analytics, data engineering, power platform engineering, Scrum Master, project management, and then cybersecurity. But the list goes beyond this, but majorly we play around, these particular sectors. So where have our participants worked? They've worked all over the world in different sectors. So you have the Western Union, you have Amazon, you have Microsoft, NHS. We've worked with different organizations, with Kuda Bank, MTN, Lagos Continental, Arik Air, so many organizations so far, and we've gotten so much positive responses. So if you check our YouTube channel, Tenalytics Business, at the start of the session, I played some of the testimonials that we've had so far, just to give you an inkling into what we do as an organization. And basically, at the end of the program, we look to hopefully have you join us as one of our participants. Without wasting further time, I'm going to introduce myself. So who is the person that is speaking to you today? So my name is Treasure Akirpo. I'm the Strategic and Growth Partnerships Lead at Tenalytics. I basically have half a decade years of experience when it comes to corporate partnerships, and basically helping with the training curriculum for organizations. So I've helped organizations in Africa, in North America, the Europe and UK. So I've helped over 1,000 plus professionals, upskills from where they are currently at to learning more information, depending on the particular tech skill they are looking to get into. So also looked at having different global hackathons for organizations as well as individuals to help youth to have a clear understanding of what these tech skills can do for them. And this is, a little bit of information about myself. But This is not about me. Today's session is not about me at all. We have another amazing facilitator that will be taking you end to end. The main reason why we're on this call today, which is about Excel and everything in regards Excel. So I would let her introduce herself, but I'm very excited about today's session. Wanted to quickly introduce who we are as an organization before we get started, and then we can proceed to the practical aspects. Before I call her on stage, I want to make sure that everybody is here. So if you are here, can you kindly react, with a thumbs up, with a love? If you're super excited, I need to get some reaction. Oh, thank you so much. Goodness. Thank you so much, Dankat, Olamigoke. Thank you so much, everyone, for so much love and showing up today on a Saturday evening. I can't call everyone, but I'm really, really excited to have you here. And I can already see that she has a camera turned on. I am going to be handing the mic over to her so she can get started for today's session. Akuna, are you there? Can you hear me?
Hi, Treasure. Good evening to you.
Good evening. Good evening. You look amazing. I love your smile. You look very
Thank
radiant and
you.
beautiful.
Thank you
Thank you
very
for joining
much.
today.
You're
All
welcome.
right, so I'm going to step down from the stage and let Akuna take over. Please, interact with her as much as possible. This is a practical class. It would be nice if you have your laptops with you. If you have a note and a pen, just get that out so that you can get as much information and value from this session as possible. All right, that would be it for me, guys. If there are any other thing, we'll chat right after she's done. All right, over to you, Akuna.
All right. Thank you very much, Treasure. So I'm just going to share my screen and I will continue from where Treasure stops. Okay, let me just bring up my screen shortly. So you should see my screen right about now. Right about now. Okay, it's still coming up. Thank you. All right, so please, if you can see my screen, kindly give me a thumbs up. If you can see, beautiful, amazing, amazing, amazing. So thank you so much, everyone, for having me today. All right, thank you very much for paying me. So my name is Akuna Anyampa, all right, and I'm a seasoned technology professional with half a decade of experience across various industries. I've worked in sales, health, security, IT, telecom, education, marketing, and even NGO partnerships and so on. All right. So I've taught clients, I've mentored clients, I've worked as a data analyst, I've worked as a data scientist. I've used varying tools, different kinds of tools, to help me in my data analytics and science journey. All right. So I'm also very much certified with different levels of certification, some from McKinsey, Corporate Finance Institute, IBM, and so on. So the list goes on. So at Tenalytics, I'm a senior data science associate. All right. So I instruct students, I guide students, I show them from cradle, all right, down to or up to, experts. I show them how they can use some of these tools to analyze data, to predict the future, and to do amazing things, basically. All right. And I'm happy to be here today to show you one or two tips that's going to help you in your journey as well. So let's quickly dive into what we have for today. So as Treasure already stated, today we're focusing on the mistakes, okay? The mistakes that you should avoid while you are using Excel. But before we start moving on to the mistakes, let's be sure that we even know what Excel is, all right? So how many of us know Excel? If you know Excel, kindly give me a thumbs up. If you have used Excel, if you're familiar with Excel, if you love Excel, just give me a thumbs up. So you're permitted to give me a thumbs down too. All right, amazing, amazing. So as we all know, Excel is like a super interesting blessing. All right, so Excel is like a super smart digital notebook. All right, we all have notebooks. It's like this digital notebook that helps you organize, calculate, analyze, and visualize anything from budget to big data in one place. All of this can be done in one place. So that's what Excel does for us, all right? So definitely I'm seeing some of the thumbs down. Don't worry, once we're done today, you would love Excel, all right? So that is what Excel is. So I don't want to buttress that too much. Let's move on. Now, what are the uses of Excel? I know I already showed you the presentation, but I just want in the comment section, tell me the uses of Excel you know already. So use the comment section. What are the uses of Excel? What have you used Excel to do? What have you seen someone use Excel to do? So you can go over to the comment section. You see the comment section icon there that looks like a chat. So just click on it and type in what you think Excel is used for. Anybody? So once you type it in, I'm going to read out what you have typed. So Inaten says to analyze data. Interesting. So you can actually use Excel to analyze data. All right. I want more answers, please. Lawrence, Kunle. All right. OKK. OKK says data analysis and visualization. Amazing. Yes, you can use Excel for data analysis and visualization. Noah says to create visualizations. Yes, that's correct. Correct. With Excel, you can even create your personal finance tracker. I do that a lot. So I have monthly, I have my expenses, I have my income, I have my balances, everything balanced out on Excel. All right, so that I can track what's coming in and where the money is going to and all of that. So you can use Excel for financial modeling. Thank you very much, Blessing. From Ibrahim. Ibrahim says what? Data analytics. Beautiful. I'm seeing amazing answers. Thank you very much, everyone, for engaging with that. So that is what you can use Excel to do and much more. So let me show you the much more. Excel is used for what? Data analysis and reporting. So some of you already stated this. So you can use Excel for data analysis. You can use it for automation and macros, that is VBA. You can use it for reporting. You can use it for what? Interactive dashboarding. You can use it to what? Forecast outcomes. You can use Excel to predict the future. Yes. So that's more like tending towards data science. So you can use Excel to do that. Do you know you can also use Excel to create games? How many of us are aware? If you are aware that you can use Excel to create games, give me a thumbs up. Wow. Wow. So now you have it. There you have it. Oh, that's nice. Interesting. Interesting. I got a thumbs up from one of us. So you can actually use Excel to create amazing games. I'm about to show you some of it. You can also use Excel for automating repetitive tasks. So instead of always coming to put this and put that every month, you have to come get a balance sheet, do this, sum this for your company or anything. You can just have a system, create a system using Excel, and everything will be automated. You just need to feed your Excel with what? Data. Feed up the cells with what? Values, and everything will be what? Automated automatically, and so on. We have other uses of Excel, which you can get to know once you Google these things online. So let's move on. Now, this is one of the products of Excel. This dashboard we have on the screen was created using the Microsoft Excel tool. So you can see beautiful things that can be created using Excel. Yeah, this is a dashboard. And if you look at this over here, this is a chart. We have the donut chart over here. We have a line chart over here. We have another line chart over here. We have the area chart over here. We have the bar charts, okay, the column charts over here. All right. You also have the bubble charts here, okay, the scatter plots, okay. We have so many things there. All right. And Blessing, I believe it's your screen, it's your network. So kindly try to reconnect and you'll be able to see my screen shortly. Okay. So this is a dashboard, and with time, if you develop yourself well enough, you'll be able to do this using Excel and present this to stakeholders. Now let's move on. What else can we do with Excel? Let's see. Over here, we have this. What do we have on the screen? So I want to have the name of what we have on the screen in the chat box. What's this? What's this? What do we have on the screen? Anybody? Wow, amazing, amazing. So from goodness, from Fumi, from blessing, we can see what chessboard. So this is the game I was talking about. This was created in what? Excel. Yes, lots of coding went into this, definitely, but this was created using what? Excel. So you can actually use Excel to create games. So one of these days, I just want to play chess with my friend in the office, and I don't have my chessboard there, my physical chessboard there. I can have this on my system and just open it up, and then I'm playing with my friend. I'm playing chess with my friend. Okay. So how did they even come about this? Lots of coding behind the scene using Power Query. Okay, but this is possible. Let's look at what next is possible, or what else is possible. Monopoly. The Monopoly game can be used also in Excel. You can create it in Excel, and you can play it with your friend as well in Excel. It's amazing, right? Yes, it's quite amazing. So you can also do all of these things in Excel. So with Excel, you can do creative things that you can just sit down and think outside the box and come up with amazing concepts using Excel. All right. So let's go forward. That's nice. So now today, our focus is on what? Avoiding pitfalls in Excel, the common mistakes, and how to correct them. Okay, so today we're not going to be creating any game, but I'm just going to be showing you one or two things that you should start doing if you're not doing that already in your Excel. Okay, so before I move on, please, if you join the call, kindly make sure that you mute your mic to avoid distractions. Thank you. Now let's talk about the company. So right now, we have been employed as Microsoft Excel experts, all right? And the company that has employed us is called Solar Nova Solutions. Over here, that's the name of the amazing company called Solar Nova Solutions. Okay, so it is a Nigerian-based company. They are based they based in clean energy. All right, they are just focused on clean energy, and they provide eco-friendly technologies like solar panels, inverters, wind turbines, and smart meters. So that is what solar solutions do. They provide these technologies. Their products are distributed across 4 major regions in the country. All right, they send their products to the north, they send their products to the south, to the east, and to the west, obviously. All right, so the company is experiencing rapid growth. So the demand is definitely there, and so they're experiencing what? Rapid growth, and they rely heavily on Excel for tracking and analyzing their monthly sales reports from different regions. So the company states in North, they use Excel. Those of them in the South, they also use Excel for their tracking. They also make use of Excel for the East market and the West market. Okay, so now you can see that they are definitely dealing with lots of data. Okay, so now let's move on to the problem statement. So despite the growing demand for Solar Nova's clean energy products, the company is struggling with poor data management in Excel. Their sales records are often, disorganized, and they are riddled with common spreadsheet errors. Okay, so salespersons often mix up text and numbers, hard code figures, and definitely, once you are hard coding some of these figures, you can make mistake. You're a human being, all right? So why don't you automate that? They also use incorrect formattings and overuse features like merge cells and so on. So as a result, the reports are unreliable and the decision making becomes inefficient. And that is where we come in, all right? So now I want to teach you, all right? I want to teach you how to manage your data effectively, all right? So that we can avoid some of these spreadsheets common errors. So let's move on. So the project objective, what is the objective of this project? Number one, to enhance Excel proficiency among beginner users. So if you have beginner users at Solar Nova, we're going to help them, enhance their Excel proficiency, to improve the accuracy and reliability of business reports, and to the left, to empower learners to use best practices and avoid common Excel mistakes. Definitely, this is some form of repetition. So let's move on. So now let's look at the data sets. So SolarNova has given us a data set. And let's look at what we have in our data sets. How many of us know what a data set is? If you know what a data set is, give me a thumbs up. All right. Okay, knows what a data set is. Good. All right. So we all know what a data set is, but I'm going to show you what a data set is now in case you're not sure what it is because of the name. Okay. But in our data set, we have the ID column, which shows us the unique identifier for each transaction. We have the products, which shows us the type of product. Remember, SolarNova offers different products, that is different technologies, wind turbines, solar panels, inverters, and so on. All right, so that's going to be under the products column in our data set. We have the region. We have north, south, east, and west. We have the salesperson, the name of the team member responsible for that particular sale. We have the phone number. We have the units sold, that's the quantity of products sold. We have the unit price, that's the price per unit of products. And then we have the total sales. Total sales is simple math. Units sold multiplied by unit price equates to our what? Total sales. And finally, but not the least, we have the dates sold. That is the date when the product was sold over here. All right, so let's move on. I'm going to show you the data set shortly. So let's take a look at the data sets. So I'm going to share my screen, and then you're going to see my data sets. Okay, I'll stop sharing. Kindly bear with me. It's coming up shortly. I think it's taking some time to come up. So what I'm about to do now is, before it comes up, I want you to take a look at this data sets, what you're about to see, all right? And then you're going to tell me what you think is wrong with these data sets. You're going to tell me in the comment section, or I can even give one of you an opportunity to speak, and you tell me what you think is wrong with these data sets. Okay? Beautiful. So you're going to see it now. If you can see my screen with the sheet, the data sets, kindly give me a thumbs up. All right, beautiful. Amazing, amazing. And it's properly, okay, good, it's visible. Nice. So let's look at my screen again. What can we see? What do you think is wrong with this data? What's off? Anybody? So you can either type out your observation in the comment section. You can raise up your hand. Oh, amazing. Hi, Eloho. Can you unmute your mic and tell me what you think is wrong with this data set?
Hi, Akona. Thank you so much for the question. Okay, so basically, what I say that is wrong with this data set is that number one, it's not being formulated in the right table to help us analyze it in the proper form. Then also on the product side, it's not organized, so it's not in the right font size. So we may need to use trim or clear to kind of clean it up. So basically, I think that is what I have observed so far.
Oh, amazing. Please, can we give a round of applause, for Eloho? Thank you so much, Eloho. You can mute your mic, please. Thank you very much. That's spot on. All right. So as Eloho already mentioned, if you look at the product column over here, you can see that solar has small letter, like a small letter, panel with small letter. Then look towards the right-hand side. Region is capital letter N, and the rest of it ORTH is smaller. So you can see that everything is just a bit distorted, okay? So we want some form of unison throughout the table. If you are using capitalized words and phrases, let everything be capitalized. If you want everything to be uppercase, everything should be capital letter, let's use capital letter throughout. If everything should be small letter, let's use small letters throughout, okay? So all of these are data management techniques and tips that we should have. All right, so do we have, let me go to the comment section for those who couldn't speak. So from the comment section, do I have any? All right, so goodness says the ID. What's wrong with the ID? I don't see anything wrong with the ID. Or you want to put 0 in front? Okay, well, looking at the ID right now, I think everything is okay. But probably you could type more in the comment section to tell me what's wrong. Yeah, thank you, goodness. We have OKK. It is unorganized. Spot on. Yes, it's actually unorganized. It's not properly cleaned. Yes, it's not. Data not in order. Looking at the dates. Exactly. Thank you very much, Openi. If you take a look at the dates over here, why do we have the time? Everything is still just 000, like 12 a.m. This means 12 a.m. Everything is 12 a.m. So since it's 12 a.m. throughout the entire data set, we don't need that. So what we just need is what? The dates, the short dates alone. Okay? So you can see that. Another thing I've also observed, even if you don't mention that, unit price and total sales are not in the monetary form. That's also a thing. Thank you so much, Suleiman. That's also spot on. So you can actually put currency. So if you look at this data, we can come up with a lot of things, right, to change. Okay, but we're going to keep everything simple because of the time we have for today. Another thing I want us to look at for is, if you look at this, just for data management, proper data management, I'm going to change all of this to a drop down. Because if you look throughout the salespersons, we have Cynthia, we have Efe, we have David, we have Ada. So you can see that we have the same persons coming up a lot. We have Ben, okay? So probably we have like a total of 7 salespersons for this company, all right? Littered throughout the cells of this particular column, all right? So that is what we are going to change into a drop down shortly. We can also change the region as well to a drop down. Okay, so that once people are imputing data into this particular sheet, they will just go to the drop down, select north, select south, or select west or east, whatever region they are trying to select. Okay, so I'm going to go quickly into the webinar. If you have any questions, you can just put them in the comment section. I'll come back to them later on. Thanks for understanding. All right. So very quickly, let's start working on what we have here. Now, the very first thing I want to, product should also be a drop down. Thank you very much. That's also good. Yes. So now, if you look at this, the first thing I want us to do as a best practice is to freeze this header. Now, let me show you why you have to freeze the header. So let's scroll down. Wow, I'm scrolling down, but now I can't even see the header. So this 17, I already know it's ID because I'm the owner of this data set. But what about this? Yeah, I know it's a product, but what about someone that is just coming to this data set for the first time and has not memorized the columns and doesn't know what all of these values are for? They're not going to see what we have up there. So the first thing we're going to do is, as a best practice, you're going to freeze the top column, all right? So what are you going to do? You come over here, you highlight this place over here, you go to view. From view, you come down to freeze pane, okay? Click on freeze pane, and then you click on freeze top row. Click on that, and there we have it. So now let's scroll down again and see if there's a difference. Amazing. So you can see there's a difference. So this is very simple. I'm pretty sure some of us probably already knew this, but this is a best practice. So always learn to freeze your top row or freeze your top column, depending on what you want to do. All right. So let's move on. So that's the first best practice. So you can jot that down. What's the next thing that we should do? What's the next best practice? The next best practice is hard coding numbers. It's not good to hard code numbers. It is not a good practice. For instance, let's say I want to, we already know that for us to get the total sales over here, we had to multiply units sold and this unit price. Some of us, I've seen situations that this has happened, okay? Some of us will be typing, calculating it, 336 multiply. Okay, let's do that. So let's come over here to this particular column, all right, over here. And let's get 36. So I'm going to come into the formula bar for this. And I'm going to say it's equals to 36. It's what we call hard coding. Hard coding means you're hard coding it, you're painstakingly coding it, you're typing 3, you're typing 6. So you're saying 36, 36, you give space, then you put multiply by, you give space 300.89. You now hit enter. So there we have it here. We have it as 1,832. Sorry, 10,832. And you can see it over here without the decimal place, of course. All right. But let's say you have 10,000 rows of data. Are you going to go through the 10,000 rows of data hard coding it? No, you're not going to. So you have to learn to reference. You have to learn the art of referencing in Excel. Referencing, okay? So you have to learn to reference this and reference this to get this. Simple. So instead of hard coding it, let me show you the proper Excel way of doing this. So let me go back. So I'm just going to delete what we have here, and then I'm going to reference it. So I'll click here, and then I'll go over here to the formula bar, and I'll put equals to. I'll come and I'll select E2, 36. So you can see once I selected E2, you can see up here, we have E2 in the formula bar. So I have referenced this. So it's like referencing is like you're getting the address of a particular cell. It's like as though every cell in this sheet, there are houses, different houses with their various addresses. Okay. So you have to come over here and click on it to get the address of this cell. So the address of this particular cell where we have 36, or where 36 is living in, we call it address E2, okay? And then you come over here, you now put multiply by what's the next house we're going to get, or the next address we're going to, address F2, select it. So you now have E2 multiplied by F2, you hit enter. And you still see, it does the same thing here. So now, instead of going to go and start hard coding everything, I've automated it. So for me to have this formula for all of them, instead of having to type everything, I can just come over here. If you go to the extreme right under 10,832, you see that once I put my cursor key here, my mouse over here, it changes to a plus sign. Once I see that plus sign, I'm just going to double click twice. 1, 2. Sorry, let me do that again. 1, 2. Okay, so let me just put this close to this so that it can properly work. So just give me a minute. So you can actually drag and drop it. Let me call this reference. Hit enter. Good. So I'm going to double click. Good. So I have to put it close to the last table, the last column, so that the Excel can know that this is part of this table. All right. And some of these automations will work. So I just double clicked over here, and you can see automatically, it just automatically auto-filled everything. It dragged the entire formula for me automatically. So if I have 1 million rows, all I need to do is just come over here, put the first formula and double click, and it auto-fills for the 1 million records. Okay, that's amazing. As opposed to come and hard code everything. So you can compare the values here and the values here, and you can see that everything is the same. So that's for the second method. All right. So just avoid anything hard coding in Excel, basically. Now, what is the next interesting common mistake most of us actually make? So the next thing we do is I think one of us actually mentioned this. Okay, I'm going to come back to this. Let's look at the data types. We actually ignore incorrect cell formatting. Okay, we just ignore it. Now let us look at an example. So this was already mentioned, right? Where you have the dates sold, and we can see that we have 12 a.m. If you look at this and you come over here and you look at this closely, you can see that over here is actually showing as what? 12 a.m. because it's actually 12 a.m. Okay. Okay, sorry, 1 minute. Yeah, so everything is actually 12 a.m. Okay, so do we need to see 12 a.m.? We know that everyone is actually 12 a.m. already, so we don't need to see any of that, basically. So what do? You can change the formatting of this particular column, this date sold column. You can change it from what it is right now to short dates, so that we can do away with the time, right? The time is already constant. So for us to do that, you come over here, you select the entire column, you go over to home where you can make the changes. You come down here to where you have number so that you can change the formatting of that particular column. You can see right now the formatting of this particular column is general. It's just a general format, and that's not good enough. All right, so we have to change it from general to short date. So you click on the inverted triangle here and you scroll down and look for where you have short dates. Click on short dates. So you can see it's gone. The excess unnecessary information has been done away with, and now we just have our dates, which is good enough for us. So that is another thing that we need. All right, so we do not need that constant, that 12 a.m. We don't need it, so that is why we removed it. Okay, so that's that about that. So that is another method I want us to learn to always do. And let's not just wait here. Let's move on to units sold. Let's check the formatting for units sold. So I've highlighted units sold. I'll go to home and I'll check its general. I don't want it to be general. I want it to be a number. So I'll come down here and click on number, and then I can reduce the decimal place. I don't want any decimal place, and that's why it's looking okay now. All right. So you can always make sure that you check your formatting. All right. Because I've been in a situation where I thought a particular column was actually a number, but Excel was not seeing it as a
Hello,
number.
Akuna.
So,
Sorry to cut you. The truth is that for everything you've been doing, we've not been seeing what you've been doing. We can't see you going to home and selecting those other parameters. I don't know why.
oh,
Your toolbar is not showing. Your
Yes, your
toolbar.
toolbar, exactly.
oh, apologies. Let me just look at that quickly. Wow. Okay. Okay. So while I'm trying to sort that out quickly, but everything I've explained so far, at least based on what I said, all right, do we all understand it? Even though I'm still going to repeat myself in some angles so that you can see one or two things. If you understand, just give me a thumbs up. Some of the things, okay? The referencing. Did we get the referencing? Okay, okay, thank you. So it's just the incorrect data type. All right, so I'm gonna go through that again shortly. Let me just send this quickly and adjust this. Thanks for the observation. Okay. So I believe that I will be on the same page now. Yeah. So thank you so much, everyone, for your patience. Let me share my screen so that you can see everything. I'll just address it this way. Okay. Okay, so can you see my entire screen now?
No, no.
All right, thank you very much. So I think by now you should be able to see what I have on my screen. Okay, so this is the entire screen, so you'll be able to see this. Okay, so before the interruption, okay, what I did before the break was this. The first thing I did was the referencing, which I believe you all understood. Okay, now I was talking about changing the data type. So I'm just going to undo what I did for the date column. So this is what the date column was before I made the change. Okay, so you highlight the date sold, you move up to where we have home, click on that. Then you move to where we have number. You click on general, you see a drop down, and you change it to short dates. So this is how we arrived at this. Okay. Then I also went for that where we have units sold.
Ma, please, we are not still seeing the screen. Screen is not still showing.
Please, who can see my screen now? Who can see my Excel? Okay, so everyone was seeing my screen. Probably you could leave the call and join, please.
Okay.
All right, so let's move on. So I was changing the units sold. So you highlight the entire column E, you go to home, you go to number, change it from general to number. So I was saying that once you change it from general to number, you're going to see, before it was a whole number, just 36. But now it's 36.00. Don't start saying, whoa, what happened? That's fine. It just added 2 extra decimal places to it. So you go back to home, and over here you have increase the decimal place, that is add more decimal places, and reduce the decimal places. So I want to reduce the decimal places. I want to do away with the 0.00. So I'll click this twice, 1, 2. So now you can see that this has gone back to what it was. But now Excel can actually see this and know that the values in this particular column are numbers. So I was telling you earlier on, all right, that I was working on a project. I didn't know that they looked like numbers, but Excel wasn't seeing these numbers as numbers. So when I tried to sum all of them, it was not working. And I was wondering what's going on. And then I had to go back and I checked and I realized that Excel was seeing these numbers as a text. So definitely you cannot sum text. So it's very important for you to always cross-check the formattings for your columns, as a financial analyst, as a data analyst, as an Excel user. It's very important. So this is actually one of the common mistakes we also make, while using the Excel platform. Now, what else can we do? What else? All right. So let's take a look at this. So this was also mentioned earlier. So what about a situation where you have solar panel? This is small letter, this is small letter, and we have capitalized words over here. So I want something that will give us this uniform look. There is a keyword or an Excel function called proper. Okay, we call it proper. Okay, so we're going to use the proper Excel function to capitalize the words in this particular column so that everything, all the text in our Excel sheets, everything will be what will have this uniform look. All right, so what am I going to do? I'm just going to come over here, select the entire column, column B. I would right click on it and I would click on insert. So I want to insert a column. So you can either insert a column to the left or to the right. Doesn't matter, basically. All right, so I'm going to come over here and then I'm going to make the changes I want to make using the Excel function. Okay, so I'm going to come over here. I'm going to call this products, or I can just call me a copy and paste. How do I copy and paste? I will select this cell. I'll do Control C, as opposed to just typing it out. I'll come over here and I'll do Control V. So I've copied this. I'll click on Escape now. I've copied this and I've pasted it here. Simple. Control C, Control V. Then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to come to this formula bar once again, and I'll put equals to, I'm going to type out the keyword proper. P-R-O-P-E-R. So as I'm typing it, automatically I can even see it here. So I can just double click on this and automatically it finishes it up for me. So I don't have to type out even the entire Excel function in a word. So it gives me the bracket, and I'll come over here. Remember, referencing. I'll select the particular products that I want to capitalize, and which is what? Solar panel. So I'll tap on it once. I'll close the brackets. So now we have it as proper bracket C2, and I'll hit what? Enter. And I'm going to just double click here as well to expand it so that you can see it. And if you look at this now, let me zoom in a bit for you. Yeah, much better. So now if you look at this now, you can see S in the solar is capitalized now. P in the panel of the solar panel has been what? Capitalized. And you can see now it's different, but you can see that it fits with Not and Cynthia. Everything now looks alike. So what am I going to do now? Am I going to come over here and start typing proper brackets C3? No, I don't have to do that. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to drag. I can either drag down the formula manually, just come over here and start dragging it down, which I don't like. I don't like this method, so I'm just going to do Control Z to undo what I did. Instead, I'll just come over here and click on the plus sign, double click, and automatically it helps me autofill everything throughout the rows of this particular product column. Now I've been able to clean it. So everything now has been capitalized. Every single thing has been capitalized. Okay? So this is how you can deal with that. Okay? So these are some of the things that we can add to this. So just to be sure, all on the same page. Okay? If you understood this, oh, amazing. Please give me a thumbs up. Beautiful. We're all flowing. You all are superstars, all right? So let's move on. Let's move on quickly. Thank you. Now we're done with that. I'm done making that change. Maybe I also mentioned something to you as well. And I was like, instead of having Cynthia, Efe, and for instance, now I want to change this. Let's say I delete what we have here. And I have to come here and start typing again, Efe. Efe. I will start typing again, No, what about if I have a drop down where I can select the salespersons from? It's not magic, it's something you can actually also do. All right. So I'm going to show you right now how to use data validation to add drop down to this particular column so that everything can be automated and easy, so that you don't always have to type out everything in Excel. All right. Remember, you're trying to properly and effectively manage data for what? Solar Nova. Let's not forget that. So for us to do that, I'm going to come over here to column E. I will highlight the entire column. Once I highlight the entire column, I'm going to go over to where we have data. We call this ribbon. Okay, so all of these things we have up here, we call them ribbons. Okay, ribbons. Yeah, we call them ribbons. And you can use ribbons to do different things, to navigate to different features in your Excel. So let's go to the data ribbon. Tap on it once. Come down here where we have data tools. Okay. When you click on data tools, you see text to column, you see remove duplicates, etc. So go down to where you have data validation, this particular icon, tap on it once, and there we have it. Now I'm going to show you what you should do. Now I want to add a drop down, and a drop down is a list. Is a drop down a list? If you think a drop down is a list, give me a thumbs up. Okay, good. So drop down is actually a list. Okay, drop down contains list of items. Okay, so when you come to your data validation, you have to pick list so that you can have a drop down containing the list of items. So I'm going to come over here. I'll go to settings under data validation. I'll come down to where we have allow. I don't want to allow any value on this particular column, the salesperson column. So I'm going to click on the drop down to change it, and I will see different things. I'll click on list. So I just only want to allow list of items on this column. And you now ask yourself, okay, you want to allow list of items. Do you have the list of items you want to allow? Yes, I have the list of items I want to allow. So I can come over here and I can type out the list of items I want to allow on this particular column. So I can come in and type out Cynthia. So the list of salespersons that I want to be able to enter into this column, Cynthia, comma, David, comma, Ben, comma, Efe. Is that all? Ada, comma, Ada. And hopefully it is all right. So, and then all right, so you just separate everything by comma, right? Everything should be separated by what? Comma. So you list out everything, separating everything by what? Comma. And you click on what? Okay. So let's test it out, okay? Let's see if what we've changed is even working. So if you click now on the first cell, you see an inverted triangle just close to it. So tap on it once, and then you can see your list. You can see Cynthia, you can see David, you can see Bern, you can see Efe, you can see Ada, and so on, okay? So that is how you can do. So I can come over here and just select Cynthia. I can come to Efe. If I don't want it to be Efe, I can change it to Ben. So you can see how easy it is. I don't have to type anything. If I make a mistake, I can just do Ctrl Z and go back, and it changes back to Efe. Okay, so this is how you can use data validation. Now, another quick question. Probably this already went through some of your minds. What if I don't want to type all of that out? Or let's say I had countries. I want to have countries. Am I going to start typing from the first country down to Zimbabwe or the last country that ends with Z? No. All right. So you can actually have whatever it is that you want to put on this list. You can have your list somewhere already listed out, okay, already typed out, and then you go and you reference it. So let's practice that, okay? Let's practice that. So for me to practice that, let's move on to another column. I don't want to mess with this one, so I'm just going to leave it. So let's come over here. And I'm going to add another column, and I'll call it states. Okay, I'll call it states. So the state is going to be yes or no, basically, right? So that is what I want to have on this column. And let's put the state somewhere, right? So I'm just going to scroll to the right. Let's just put it here. Okay, so this is not part of the table. So let's put the states. Let's put country. Okay, let's put states. So let's put FCT. FCT, enter. Let's put Ogun States. All right. Let's put Oyo. Okay, let's put Port Harcourt. All right. Let's put Uyo. All right. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Sorry,
Okay, good. We
River.
have no problem. That's fine. Thank you. So we have Rivers. Thank you. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 states. Okay. All right. So please pardon me if your state is not there. It's fine. This is just a dummy demo session. Okay. All right. So we're going to come over here. We're going to use what we have here. You already know the drill. So I'll just come over here. I'll highlight this entire column. I'll move on to where we have. I can just, another way you could also do it is you can just select this and you can do Control Shift down to highlight everything. Okay, that's one way. You can also come over here, select this and do Control, and you just select down Okay, so that is different ways basically, right? So you just get used to how to use shortcuts basically and how to use the commands. Okay, well done everybody. So let's come over here to data. Let's go over here to data validation. Let's move on to settings. Let's go to allow. Let's change it to lists. Now this is the drill. This is where you're going to change things a bit. Okay, so once you click on this source now, instead of having to type out FCT Ogun Oyo, you can just come over here, select it once, and select the entire list down. So what am I doing? I put my hand on the shift key and I'm putting the down arrow key. If I go up, it goes up. If I go down, it goes down. While my hand is still on the shift key. And you can see that as I was selecting this, you can now see everything has been selected here. So it has been selected from cell 5 to cell 09. So look at this. This is column 0. If you look over here, cell 9. So you can literally just trace everything to the correct reference. And once I'm done, I'll tap on OK. And then we're done. So if I come over here to states, the first cell under states, I'll click on the inverted triangle, and now you can see it's FCT Ogun Oyo Rivers. Click on the next one, Uyo. Next one, Oyo. Next one, Ogun. Next one, FCT, and the list goes on. Amazing, right? So you don't always have to type out everything. All right, so the best practice is you don't put this where your table is. So instead of putting this on this sheet, you have to come over here and create another sheet, and you can call this the list sheet. You can call it list, and any list you want to have on the other sheet, you can list everything here, and then you can be referencing them from here to the other sheet, just the same way you did it. You come over here and select it, and automatically the address will be sent to the other sheet, basically. Right? So that is something you can do just to make things better, basically. All right, so well done everyone. So if you understood what I just explained now, please give me a thumbs up. If you just understood what I just explained concerning the listing, okay, the data validation, give me a thumbs up. Okay, I think I just got 2 thumbs up. Okay, please give me more thumbs up. I want to be sure that we're all on the same page. All right, so don't worry, practice makes what? Perfect. So the more you practice, the more confident you would become, basically. All right, thank you very much. So let's move on to the next change. Let's move on to the next change. All right, now let's talk about tables. Let's talk about tables, okay? When you advance in your Excel journey, you would have to learn how to convert these things to tables. When you convert these tables, you'll be able to do more things. Do you know you can derive a sub-table from this table, from what you're seeing here? But it's not going to be made possible until you have converted this to a table officially. So right now, Excel is not seeing this as a table. It's just seeing it as a worksheet, okay? Then you have to learn to convert it to a table. When you convert it to a table, you see, you'll be able to filter. So let's do that. Let's do that quickly. Now I want to convert this to a table. All right, so I don't want to have missing values in my table, so I'm just going to delete what we have here, okay? So I'll just delete, or I'll just undo everything I did, basically. Yeah. Good. Now I want to convert from reference down to ID. I want to convert everything to a table. What do? Anywhere inside the table, you tap. Then you go to your keyboard and you do Control A to highlight, and then you do Control T for table, to create a table out of what you have highlighted. If you do Control A to highlight, you see that the entire area that you want to convert to a table has been highlighted. You can see, just look at it clearly. Everywhere now has been highlighted. What you don't want to convert to a table is still in white. What you want to convert to a table now is in what? Gray. Then you now do Control T, and you can see create table. Don't change anything. Click on OK, and there we have it. It has been changed to table. Once you change it to a table, the sign is that it looks like this. You can see that you have different color variations. It looks lovely, basically. So what can you do? You can see if I click here, I can filter through. I can come over here, filter through. It just makes things easy. Okay, for instance, I just want to see the cells that only have solar panel. I can remove the wind turbine, the smart meter, the inverter, the battery pack. I click on OK, and now I can just see that. So now I can see all the cells for what? Solar panel. So you can see everything here is solar panel. So it has filtered everything, basically, right? So converting to a table can give you this and even much more. I can create a pivot table, which once you sign up for our course and our program, you'll be taught more advanced things. So the pivot tables you need to create your beautiful dashboards that I earlier showed you, those visualizations that I already showed you, different things, basically, you can use those tables to create them. Okay, so your beautiful table you want to also create to do some gamings and some kind of manipulation, to do some form of automations. This is how to create those tables. Okay, so there's a lot that you can do. And once you're done, oh, I don't want this to be like this again, you can come over here, click on it, and select all, and click on OK. So it selects all the products back and gives you the original state of your table. Okay, so these are some of the things that you can do. So some people would do that, they don't know how to create table, they would have to start going to home, start going to data, start doing all of those things manually to change it to a table. No, they are shortcuts. Control A to highlight, Control T to change it to a table. That's even a very good practice. Okay, so these are things that you can also practice and learn on your own. Okay. Okay, so next up, let's look at what we have. What else can we do? Now, I want to show you how to put a data validation, okay? So let me just take it back. I'm going to change it from a table back to what it was, okay? Now, I want to put a data validation so that you can see it properly. I'm going to put a data validation for units sold. For instance, when you're putting the units sold, because units sold, we can't put a drop down because it varies. It can be 1 million units sold now. Tomorrow is 1. You know, it just varies. I don't want, it's just, the list is going to be too long, right? But you can still change what you have here. You can still limit the kind of things that people can impute over here, okay? And how can you do that? You're going to use the same data validation technique we used while we are creating the drop down for salesperson, basically. So I'm going to follow the same routes. So what do? You highlight the entire column F, you go to data, you move on to where we have data validation, tap on it once, you go to where you have settings, and then we can move from here. You're already familiar with this process, right? So now let us limit the kind of values that can enter this unit sold. So for me to limit this, I will say, okay, I don't want to allow any value again. If you look at this, you have allow any values. So I'm going to click on this and I'll say, no, I just want to only allow whole numbers. But before I click on this, I want to show you something. So I'm just going to close this. Let me close this. So I'm going to, inside this 36, I'm going to put in front of it dollar space, right? So now someone made a mistake and put $36 here. This is possible because you did not put data validation. But what I'm about to do now would not allow this happen. Okay, so I'm going to do Control Z to undo it. I'll do what I just did. I'll go to data. I'll come over here. I'll go to allow. And then I will say allow only what? Whole numbers. Just allow whole numbers into this particular column. Nothing more, nothing less. I'll click on whole numbers. And then it's also asking me, do you want the data to be between something? You have different options. You want it to be equal to a particular value, etc. So I'm just going to click on between. I want the minimum number that can be allowed into units sold to be 1. And the highest can be whatever. I'm just putting enough zeros, okay? And I'm going to click on OK. So now I have put the data validation on this column. Someone that looks like this will not know except they try. Okay, so let's go back here and try to put the dollar in front of 36. Dollar space, enter. What happens? It tells you this value doesn't match the data validation restrictions defined for this cell. Please retry. And then you have to retry and change it to what it is. That is how you can do. So you can see that we're helping Solar Nova what? With some form of effective management. So just imagine if we put this for all the numeric columns here and we change this thing. You can also put it for dates so that what you can only add here will be dates. Okay, so there are different things you can do. So you just follow the same route that I have followed. Okay, so let me just change this back to 36 and hit enter. Now it's working. Okay, if you're not sure that this was really real, let's come to 51 and change it. Let's put ER in front of it, enter. Same thing, same thing. Okay, same thing. So that is how you can add data validations to your column. All right. Now I want to move on to a concept called shortcuts before I round off my session. I want to move on to a section called shortcuts. So there are different shortcuts basically in Excel. All right, there are different shortcuts in Excel that you need to learn while you're doing all of this. And so far I've explained some shortcuts, but those of you sure about actually following me properly, I'm actually going to leave this pane. I'm going to go back, and in the comment section, I would like us to type out the shortcut fonts, the shortcuts I've used so far today. Anybody? What shortcuts have I used so far today? You can use the comment section, everyone. What shortcuts have I used so far? Beautiful. So I'm going to start with what I have in the comment section. Goodness tells me that I've used Control-C. Amazing. Control-C is for what? Copy. So as an Excel user, you have to learn how to use Control-C. Control-C is for copy. Control-A is for highlighting. Control-V is for pasting. Control-Z is for undoing. Control-T is for changing it to a table, that's creating a table. Amazing. What else? Control-Shift down. Yes, yes. Thank you very much, Chukura. Sorry. Thank you very much, Cheruki. Okay. All right. Control-A plus Control-T. All right. Amazing, amazing. So let's keep it coming. I want to hear from some of us that have not spoken today. Exactly. Control-Shift arrow keys. Good. That's good. Control-A. Nice. That means we are really following. Good. So these are some of the controls that we have used today. So what if I don't want to use some of these controls only, and I want to add more controls to my list? There are more controls. So I want to show you one or two things that we can still do before I end my session. So very quickly, I can use what's called the Control-Shift plus L. Okay. So what this does for us is it helps me add filters for the columns so that I can filter all of the columns automatically. So let me show you why this is important. I want to add filter for all my columns. I'll come over here. I would highlight this. Okay. I want to highlight all my column headers, right? Then I'll go to home. I'll come over here to filters, click on filter. I'll come over here and add filters. I've added filters, right? Now everything has filters. Everything has filters. Everything has filters, okay? But do I always need to go through that long route of going to home? No, I don't need to go through that. So there's a command called Control-Shift plus L. So I'm going to do Control-Z to undo what I've done. And I'm just going to click inside here and I'll do Control-Shift-L. Control-Shift-L. Automatically, if you look up here now, you can see the filters. So I didn't have to go through any long route towards doing this. Okay? Any long route towards doing this. Control-Shift-L. So let's not forget that you can jot that down in your jotter. Control-Shift-L to automatically add filters to your Excel sheets. Another thing you can also do is you can automatically sum a column. So instead of coming down here to start checking and trying to sum the entire column manually or highlighting this entire place to sum the units sold, you can literally just come down. Let's say I want to sum the column and I want to put the answer here. All right. I can use what to call Alt plus equals to. Let's do it. On my keyboard, I'm going to use the Alt sign. Where is the Alt key? This is the Alt key. So I'm going to say Alt equals to. Automatically, you can see now it has highlighted the entire unit sold column and it has put the sum bracket. So it's going to sum everything on the unit column for me. I'll hit enter. And this is it. 2,341. Alt plus equals to. Okay. So there are so many short keys, short forms. Okay. There are so many Excel keys, right? Excel commands that you can use to make life easy for you. All right. So my take for you, or my take home for you, is go and Google this Excel short keys and use them for yourself. Okay. And finally, but not the least, I want to show you one thing before I call it a day with you. All right. Now let's say I want to add a discount to total sales over here. Okay. And I want to add a discount over here. So I'm going to create another column on column K. I'm going to call it discounts. Discounts. I'll hit enter. So I want someone to tell me in the comment section, what discount should I apply? Should I apply 15%, 5%, etc.? 50%, 15%. So someone just put that in the comment section for me, please. All right. I will say 20%. Please, let's okay, 25%, 20%. All right, thank you very much. So I'll go with 20%. Okay, let's go with 20%. All right, since I think majority carries the votes. So I'm going to apply a 20% discount on the total sales. Okay, so you know what that means. So I'm going to put total sales multiplied by what? 0.2, right? So I'm going to come over here. And remember, I told you I don't like hard coding some of these things. So you don't always have to hard code them. So I'm just going to put my discount somewhere over here. So I can just put 0.2. So I know that is my discount price. And then I'm just going to come over here and I'm going to say equals to. I'm going to reference the total sales here, which is what? H2. Look at where my cursor is. I'll click here. So you can have it here as H2 multiplied by. So instead of typing out 0.2, I'm not going to type that out. I'll just come over here and put it, select it. And then I click on enter. So now this is the discounted price. Isn't that amazing? Yes, that's amazing. So this is the discounted price. Okay. So on a normal day now, someone will tell me to drag it and drop it down. But that's going to be wrong. That's going to be wrong, okay? But can someone tell me why that's not going to work? I can just come over here and just double click, which I just did. Right? So I'm seeing 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Who can tell me why? You can raise up your hand, please. All right. So I'll start with Peter. Hi, Peter. Okay, I'm guessing this is for something else. Okay, hi, Jerry. Jerry, do you want to answer the question?
Good afternoon. Good evening, I mean.
Good evening.
Yeah, so if you don't lock the cell, it won't give you the right answer. So you need to lock the cell with the dollar sign.
Thank you very much, Jerry. Thank you very much. That's spot on. So this is happening because we did not lock the cell. So what it's showing now is this is 0.2. That's for the first discount. Now the next discount is trying to calculate for the next value is this. It just automatically came in. So when you drag it down, automatically it's just going to be increasing it from 0.2 down to 0.3. So it's just going to be going down, going down. So the next discount is going to be nothing. The next discount is going to be nothing. Like if I come over here and change this to 0.1, you see, it's going to have a value there now. Can you see? A value appeared. So that means it's taking what we have here, what we have here to get this, what you have here to get this. So we need to lock this. we need to log this. We need to log this. So let's go back to this and let's come back here. So we have H2 multiplied by 0.2 here, but we need to log this. And for you to log this, you're going to put a dollar sign in front of 0, in front of O, and is a dollar sign in front of 2, and then you have locked it. But you don't always have to do that manually, right? So there's a short form key, there's a shortcut key for that. The shortcut key for that is F4. So just click on the 0 on the O2 and tap F4. Automatically it locks it for you, and you hit enter. And if I come over here and I double click on this just to automatically drag the formulas down, you want to see values now. So the shortcut key for locking your cell reference, the particular reference, is what? F4. F4. All right. So don't forget that as well. So thank you so much, everyone. So these are some of the things. I hope that with all of these things that we have done, we've been able to help Solar Panel, Solar Nova, help with some of its poor data management issues. All right. So if you get this data set, you can actually add more to it. Make sure you add all the data validations to all the columns that you want to add them to. Wherever it is that you want to make a drop down, okay, you want to add the regions as a drop down, salesperson as a drop down, products as a drop down, you can do that by yourself. Okay, so all of these things are well organized ways that you can work with your company. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm going to hand over now to Flourish to continue.
To cut you, I'm so sorry. I don't know if there is a shortcut for freezing the title bar.
Okay, a shortcut for freezing the title bar. There should be. I'm going to get it for you. I'll put that in the comment section now. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Akona. Well done. It was an amazing session. And please, before we begin to wrap up, you can see the attendance form in the chat. Please ensure that you fill the attendance. It's very, very important. So you have access to the data sets and other learning resources that you just made use of in this class today. So it was a very insightful session. If you know you had fun, I need to see some reactions coming up right about now, just to appreciate your facilitator before we go into the second part of the session. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. That's amazing. Well done. So quickly, before we call it a day, I know you've just gone through an intense class we'll take questions right after I'm done. I won't take much time, 5 minutes tops, and we'll be over this aspect. We've gone through the information about like Excel and the different shortcuts that you can make use of for yourself. But I know a lot of you are more interested in how to learn or go further in this Excel class or data analytics aspect, and you're not quite sure about it. You don't know how to go about it. This is just a taster session so that you can understand what you'd be learning if you actually get into class and start working on different data sets itself. And it's not just going to be shortcuts, there'll be other aspects. Yes, the recording will be sent across. Once you fill the attendance, it's very important that you fill the attendance to have access to the recording. So like I was saying, there are other aspects to Excel, there are other aspects to data analytics itself. There's dashboards, there are pivot tables, slicers. Other aspects has not been covered, okay? But we are looking to have the session in more details over a 3-day span, okay? So if you are very much interested in data analytics, Excel, Power BI, specifically as a data analytics tool or a data visualization tool, then please stick around with me. So quickly, I'm going to run through some of the things that analytics business is looking to do. So basically, for the training session that we're looking to offer you, we make sure that what we give to you is not just a one-time class. It's not just going to be this master class and that will be the end of it. We're looking to go further in the training session, okay? So you have a community of individuals that will join the session. You have access to your facilitator. So just the way you have access to Akuna right now, you'll be having a chat with her, okay? Just to go over certain information if you are not clear on it. So we very much pride ourselves in providing support. So not just a one-time support, but as long as you need us to be, guide you throughout the entire session. So that's one of the benefits of registering with us. The next thing would be we don't give generic irrelevant content. So breaking it down, you're not just going to come and learn Excel, Power BI, learn certain functions that is not beneficial to you as an individual. It's not part of what you'll be using on a day-to-day activities. That's not what it's about. So we ensure that we tailor each of the content to meet what you do as an individual. If you're a finance professional, customer service individual, HR, whatever sector of the economy or sector that you're working with, you basically would be providing you a content in that regard. And it's going to be in your industry. If you're in finance, if you're in manufacturing, aviation, whatever sector or industry you play in, the content will be based off that. And for the HR guys that has, stayed through this entire session, you're not left behind. You are able to see end to end, both for the actual session, the live classes that will be happening. You can track what the participants are doing. You get an understanding of what they are doing. You know who is watching their videos, who came to class, have they done their assessments. All that information will be available end to end, as an HR individual. Another thing is just like Akuna presented, okay, and you are able to practice alongside with her. Our classes are 100% practical session, okay? You go through the theoretical aspects, but a lot of people come and watch videos and that's the end of it. But we try to make sure that we give you more value than that. So it's not just theory, you also get to actually practicalize alongside with the facilitator. If you make mistake, you can call the attention of the facilitator and the person who provide assistance as much as possible. And then finally, this is also going to HR and management. You can be able to understand the entire process of what your staff has worked on. Okay, so as an organization, they are held accountable to the classes that they learn. So if they come to learn data analytics, they should be able to champion data analytics, in whatever department they play in, whether it's finance or customer care. They should be able to have an understanding and pass that information across to individuals so that in the end, your organization has a better productivity rate and overall, you're able to meet your goals and objectives. So that's a little bit more, this is just more information in that particular regard. So industries that we've covered, like I mentioned in the beginning, financial services, FMCG and retail, oil and gas, telecommunication, logistics and supply chain, tech and startup, HR and recruitment firms, and so much more. Okay, these are just some of the few industries we've worked with. So these are some of our testimonials. If you go to our YouTube channel, you see organizations that we've trained so far. For Nigerian organization, we have Fair Money, Health Holding, Carry Assets Management, TGI Group, Nigerian Breweries, Mikano Moto. So all you need to do is just go to you go to the YouTube channel for Tenalytics Business, and then you can easily see all these testimonials that I've stated here. So all you need to do is just come to Tenalytics Business. Once you do that, you see the recordings of everything that I've mentioned so far. So that's what we'll be working, or that's some of the testimonials we have so far done. So now to the most interesting part of this session. So for the next couple of days, specifically between July 30th to 1st of August, we'll be having a special open program that will be taking you end to end, everything that concerns data analytics and reporting systems. Some people will say, how can we learn that in 3 days? Do not be shocked. Do not worry, because we have facilitators that will start from the beginning, basically from what is Excel, how do I make use of Excel, what type of data do I have. All that will be captured in the training that we'll be having between July 30th to 1st of August. And you might want to ask, what am I going to be learning? You're going to be learning how to build dashboards in Excel. So if you want to create a fanciful looking dashboard to represent your data, as a business, you want to know which state is purchasing your goods as much as possible. Where do you have your least purchase? Okay. As an HR professional, you want to know how many individuals leave your organization at a time. How many people are actually watching their videos? We can all have that in a dashboard system. Something beautifully represented that you might not need to go through major and loads of data just to be able to understand. That's some of the benefits you'll be working with. Another thing is, just you've come here to work how to automate reports, how to automate certain practices on Excel and Power BI. You'd also be able to learn that in this class, and it's not going to be just surface level. You go into details to get clarity on each of this information. Another thing you also be able to learn as a business is, for you to be able to make decisions, you need data, and you need to be able to understand, certain aspect of your data to come to a reasonable decision. And this would happen based off like visual storytelling. And that's some of the things you'll be discovering in this session. Okay, so what is basically included? So I'm going to come to the Analytics business page so you can see clearly what we are talking about. So I'm going to zoom in a bit so you can see my screen clearly. So I've gone through all these particular aspects, what you'll be getting, okay, apart from just the training and the technical aspects. You also have access to all the course materials. Just like after this session, I'll send across the course materials to people that fill out the attendance, and you also get access to the recording after the session is done. So you can watch it as many times as possible. You'll be getting a certificate from Analytics and Analytics Business. The beautiful part about it is that we are internationally recognized. So when I say internationally recognized, we are recognized by the American Council of Training and Development. So you can use the certificate for individuals looking to get job abroad. This is where this comes very much in handy. So whenever you're applying, you can also make use of the certificate. For individuals that are in the country and organizations that are looking to train their staff, this just gives a boost to the type of staff and quality of staff that you have, taking part in this training. So that's another benefit you get to learn, or have rather. You'd also have 3 months access to the learning management system. So right now you just got snippets of how to make use of certain functions. You'll be having 3 months access to a lot more materials. Okay, so talking about what Excel is, what data is, the different functions, trim function, proper functions, slicers, pivot tables, all that is found in the learning management system. So apart from just interacting with your facilitator, you also have access to that management system. You get to discuss with other participants that will take part in the program. You get to take assessments and just get better at what you do end to end. You'd also be working on different case studies. You just worked on one. There are many more case studies that you'll be working on, during the course of this project, and then you get to network with different professionals. So if this is of interest to you, and you know how beneficial it is for your organization and yourself as an individual, it will be a good time for you to register. We're currently running a 25% discount on this program. So instead of 200,000 naira, you'll be paid 150,000 naira. And for the next 3 days, between July 30th to 1st of August, like I said, we'll be taking you end to end everything in regards Excel and Power BI, and how to make use of data, analyze data, and better automate your reporting system. So all you need to do, I'm very sure my colleagues will drop the link to how to register. You go ahead to register for the training. Whatever, when they drop the link, it's going to take you to this spot. All you need to do is come here to register to secure your spot. And once you've done that, it will take you to the form for you to register. So that is end-to-end how to get started with the training program. Once you've made payments and uploaded your receipt, you'd have access to the training, and we can't wait to have you in our session. So thank you so much, everyone. That's pretty much what we're looking to cover today. I'm looking to have, everybody that stayed right to this very minute in that session, all 23 individuals, if you really want to get more insights on data analytics, this would be a good time to register. Thank you so much. So let's go forward to having questions. I can see that Bello's hand is raised. Bello, please, you can go ahead. Hi, Bello, can you hear me? You're muted if you're speaking. Or is that an error? Okay, I'll take that as an error. Thank you so much. Are there any other questions? Does anyone have any questions before we call it a wrap? Okay, so if you know that you don't want to ask your questions here and you need like further clarity on any aspect, or you basically want to speak to an expert before taking part of this training session, we have what we call a clarity session, or an opportunity for you to speak with an expert based off the information that you need more clarity on. So you can book a session with, the expert to speak, and then, you can get further clarity on any aspect. It could be in data analytics, it could be your profession as a data analyst, how to transition from where you currently are, maybe as a HR analyst or a customer service professional, to a data analytics professional. Any questions you need clarity on, or even how to go about the program or how to register, and you need more information on that, you can book a clarity session. and then we'll help and provide more clarity. If you also want to reach out to me specifically to register either your staff, your colleagues, yourself, you can reach out to me by email at treasury@analytics, and I would definitely provide assistance to you. Or you can also reach out to business@analytics, and then you get support as much as possible. Um, I guess that's it. If there is no further question, we can call it a day and a night, evening, morning, wherever you are. Thank you so much for staying with us right to the very last minute. I'm very, very appreciative so far, and it was an engaging session. I'm looking forward to having you in our actual 3-day training open program. If you need more information, if you need more clarity, please do well to let us know, and we'll provide support to you as soon as possible. That being said, bye everyone, and have a great rest of your evening. Bye, guys.
Bye.